What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening.
63 likes. Here we go, one we go.
Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, guys, welcome to the MG Show, and we're going to go over today. I've got to leave in an hour. I've got to take Mama Matrix to the doctor, and by the way, thank you all very much for your prayers. She's getting stronger. She's doing OT, she's doing PT, occupational therapy, physical therapy. She's improving with your prayers. I couldn't thank you enough. Shady Grove, come on in here.
Oh my goodness, Jeff, I am not even ready to come in there just yet. Hang on just a second. Let me do this. This one right here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, where is it? There I am.
There he is. Face for radio. These are the faces for radio.
It doesn't show me. Oh, the camera's not on. There it is.
Oh boy, I thought you'd realize that.
How about that?
Well, anyways, welcome. Hi, Shady.
Oh my God! Wow, I didn't. My producer didn't even tell me my camera wasn't on. Holy crap!
He's too busy producing, dude.
Oh, he did great.
Yeah,
he got me here audibly. Thank you guys so much for being here today, Jeff. Listen, I wanted to jump in there on what you were talking about with your mom, guys. Everybody going through life has to deal with what Jeff's currently dealing with. Your parents are getting older, and I just wanted to extend a gratitude to the audience for all of the love and the prayers that you have been giving for Jeff's mom and the stuff that she's been going through. It's been very difficult to figure out what it is to get her situation balanced. Trying to understand, not being able to communicate, different medications interacting with each other. It's kind of crazy. But Jeff, you've done an amazing job of something that I'm noticing that a lot of people skip over is you're trying to solve a situation. You're trying to help her actually get better, get to a place where she's functional, as opposed to like realize, push her aside and act like, oh, well, she's, past the point of anything helping her. That wasn't the case. You knew that wasn't the case. You've been fighting for her this whole time. And I think that maybe finding some balance here with her, and yes, many prayers, and God bless you and her.
Maybe I can have a little bit of a life too when she gets independent. That's the goal as well. She's amazing. Thank you, Mikey, for that. And Mikey's also taking care of his mom. That's what people do. A lot of people in my generation just put their parents in, old folks' homes. I couldn't do it, and here I am. I'm, 57, living with mom, making sure she's okay. But that's what family does, man. Okay. And it's pretty tough on my regular life as well, just so you know. It's not easy. But I'm proud to do, and she would do it for me, and that's why I'm doing it for her. And my brother just doesn't even talk to her anymore, and he can just, sorry, brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Because she voted for Trump. My God, when I have a Q show. Oh
say,
boy, booga booga. Now I'm right. Now, okay, so let's go into this. Thank you, guys. Shady, Q is more relevant today than it was in 2020. Why? Because he had to go away for a while so you could see the truth. You know, did you like your communism? You know, did you like your communism trial run? So
Right.
the post that we're saying 2018 is going to be glorious, 2025 is going to be glorious, okay? Because we had a rigged election, okay? There's no doubt about it was rigged, okay? How it was rigged is up for debate, and, you know, there's a lot of psychological operations around that, too. There's a lot of psychological operations for you to not look at Q. There's a lot of psychological operations not wanting to watch this show and censor this show. And there's actually people in the DNC that wanted me gone and you gone from this platform, from Twitter, I mean, Hillary Clinton, right? You know, she put me on a list in 2016. Or 2019, excuse me, saying I'm foreign disinfo. Okay, these are deltas today as well, in a way. But this is what it's about. It's about standing tall. And, you know, there are a lot of people not talking about Q anymore. And they were allegedly Q people. Okay. And then, you know, we get called QAnon in the news. And, you know, I was on Donny O'Sullivan. They called me QAnon. They said there is no such thing as QAnon. Yes, there was. Okay. QAnon, we used the hashtag and they usurped it. So there was such a thing called QAnon. However, they usurped it. Okay. They took our tagline and turned it against us. And who else did that? People that were fake MAGA, Shady. This is a very important show because we stood true to Q, because I couldn't get away from it, right? I couldn't not talk about Q anymore because I'm QAnon influencer in the Matrix. Booga, 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 Shady. Q influencer show, MG show, booga, 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 with his co-host Shady Booga Booga.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm standing behind my work, your work, Poussin's work, all the other people that help us decode. C Page is out there, Spilty T, new people that are coming to the movement, like, you know, Mr. T's out there, Hans-Jörg Wyss even. We got 14 Patient for Truth. We got people digging like DQ. Susie Q is here as well. She's new to the movement. So we got a lot of new eyes coming. So what I wanted to do, Shady, is kind of just tell you, you know, what we're actually, you know, Nicole is doing deltas. I mean, there's a lot of great people trying to show you what's happening with Q. And there's a lot of people that go in our comments and like degrade it, calling us Q-tards and calling us names. And here we are. We've got the spy op post, the one that I got on CNN on December 5th, G5. 2024 is now coming to life, Shady Group. Everything is happening. You've got Epstein in the news. That's all. You've got Mueller in an old folk home. Do you guys hear that? He's like in an old folk home, a memory care center, guys. We've got Trump wanting to federalize Washington, D.C. You know, a lot of this is Q proofs, guys. And I wrote a little statement, Shady, and I'd like to read it, and then I'm going to hand it over to you because I know you've got a lot to say about this too. But this is my post here. Q is more relevant today than it has ever been, and here's why. Despite facing significant challenges during his first term, Donald J. Trump, including 2 impeachments, opposition from some within his own cabinet who have been fired, we know about the Scaramucci model, and we know who those people are, because Q told us, and the resistance from the Democrats and the Q movement was, in fact, infiltrated. This movement was, in fact, infiltrated. Q told us about that, too. Who was it infiltrated by? Well, we got Roger Stone, Alex Jones, all of these people. These obstacles, including unfounded investigations, fake news, fake MAGA, and political attacks, hindered Trump's ability to fully implement his agenda in Trump Admin 1.0. Today, along with what Q was highlighting, we are seeing major Q proofs daily, on the daily, Shady Groove. Trump has strategically, finally, surrounded himself with a team dedicated to his mission, positioning him to effectively advance policies that prioritize American prosperity, security, and unity. And I'd like to play this real quick. Turn it up.
Are at their root Russian hacks. So
my last election, yes. After my election, I have more flexibility. Russia paid $3 million to influence Hillary Clinton on the Uranium One deal.
It's a scene many of his accusers never thought they'd see.
My name is Q.
That's what I'm talking about right there, guys. Okay? And Q has been right. But there's a lot of fake MAGA, because Shady, I made this point today. Like I make a Q post or Q proof post, and then these people come in to disparage it, calling me a Q-tard and all this other stuff. Regular people, normie people, would not take the time to do that. These are the infiltrators. Anybody talking negatively about what I post that's in favor of Donald J. Trump is an operator, Shady. Nobody would take the time to do that, would they?
Nope. They absolutely would not take the time to do that. Would anybody take the time to come out of nowhere and then just start going after two random people who are trying to do and start up a show and talk about things that they found interesting, relevant to the truth, conspiracy, Donald Trump, and the current mainstream media news environment that we found ourselves in? Would any normal person think that two people weren't allowed to do that, or would only operators who were trying to control and maintain a narrative be thinking like that? I want to make clear to my audience right now, all of you guys, to the people here that have been with us for the last 7 years, less, more, however long you've been here. You know what I saw, Jeff? I saw none of the people that follow our show get sucked into these psyops over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I sat here and watched over the last 6 months as Laura Loomer, Tucker Carlson, all of these big names, Hodge twins, huge amounts of people, huge amounts of content, huge amounts of momentum, trying to drive these narratives down your throat 24/7. And I saw you step away from it. I saw you not get sucked in. Why didn't you get sucked in like everybody else? Is there a reason that the MG show audience didn't get sucked into the psychological operations of the globalist deep state, quote unquote, over the last 6 months since Donald Trump started? There's a reason for it. The reason is because what we're doing here, Jeff, what you're noticing about Q and what we are doing and that other people aren't doing, is we are literally attempting to architect reality in the spirit of what Bill Cooper was trying to do. What Bill Cooper was trying to do was he was trying to get as much information to the public as possible. He was not extremely concerned about making it all pretty and fancy and sticking it into folders and putting on a tie and doing all these different things to make you impressed. He wanted dirty information into the public arena. He wanted information that was raw and unedited out front for you to look at and for you to discern what was in it. And then what he would do is he would dig into it himself after he showed you the information and say to the audience, people that were listening, what it was that he thought about it. And then he would show you where to go get the information that he got his information from. And then he would get on the air and argue with you back and forth about what it was that he thought, sharpening his own skills, taking in new information as it came available, Jeff. That's the spirit of what we do here. That has nothing necessarily to do with Q, except for Q was giving us a leaping point to say, answer these questions. Okay, what did we do that was a crime? What did this show do that was a crime? We went and answered the question.
Yeah. Yeah, we dug, and I stand behind my work. I'm Jeffrey Peterson. I was doxxed in 2019, Shady Groove. So along with my 15-year-old daughter from Paula C. Blades, who General Flynn follows. Okay. 1 + 1 =
2.
So they were, and then Hillary Clinton put me on a list. Okay, so let's go through today's deltas, because I want to do that today. 7 years ago today, on 8/6/2018, it's important to understand the prior to next. Okay, the Steele dossier formed an essential part of the FISA application targeting Carter Page. Former FBI Director McCabe confirmed that no surveillance warrant would have been sought from the Foreign Intelligence Services, the FISC court. Okay, without the Steele dossier, FBI and DOJ obtained from the FISC court, an initial warrant and 3 FISA renewals. Then FBI Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications in question on behalf of the FBI and former Director Deputy Andrew McCabe. Then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates. Then Acting DAG Dana Bonte and DAG Rod Rosenstein, RR, each signed 1 or more of the FISA applications on behalf of the DOJ. Now, you have to understand this to next. This was 2018, Shady Groove. 8/6/2018. We had this information, But I'm a Q-tard, This is why I'm standing up for all of us here.
We did have it, and we proved it.
Yep. And this is the post. Okay. This is the post right here that it goes to. It's a House of Representatives from the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence talking that the dossier was bullshit. Okay. Boom. It's all BS. I'm sorry. It's BS. And we knew about it. Okay. This is the second link in there, the FISA Title I summary. So that's also important. Then Q goes on to post this. Okay. Let's just go to that post 1822 right here. 1822, because it's important to understand what happened to this movement, okay? Psychological projection. Define conspiracy. 1, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful, a conspiracy to destroy the government. 2, the action of plotting or conspiring. They were cleared of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Fake news. Fake news collaborating and push, and this goes into our knowingly shady group, okay? Fake news collaborating and pushing knowingly false information. Fake news knowingly false narrative pushes. 1, POTUS colluded with Russia to win 2016 presidential election. They knew that was false. 2, POTUS is a puppet to Putin. They know that's false too. 3, POTUS, and you can see that right now. If POTUS was a puppet to Putin, the war would have been stopped, guys. Do you understand? 3, POTUS to irreparably harm relationships with our allies. He's making deals for the U.S. 4, president will collapse the U.S. economy. They know that this is false. 5, POTUS will collapse the stock market. 6, POTUS will cause war with North Korea. 7, POTUS will cause war with Iran. POTUS will destroy the world. On and on. Knowingly false. Fear and scare push. They would rather see North Korea peace negotiations fail, war, than see POTUS resolve. Scandalous media bias, conspiracy, collaboration. What are they hiding? Fake news media is not free and independent. Fake news media equals propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. Think WikiLeaks list of journalists who colluded with Hillary Rodham Clinton, the DNC 2016 presidential election. They want you divided. Divided by race, divided by religion, divided by culture, divided by class, divided by political affiliation. Divided, you are weak. Together, you are strong. You, the people, have the power. This movement challenges their forced narrative. This movement challenges people to not simply trust what is being reported. Research for yourself. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. This movement is not about one person, Flynn, Trump, or a group of people. We, the people. You are witnessing a full panic attack by the fake news media and covert alternative media affiliates, foreign government. Do you understand that? You are witnessing a full panic attack by the fake news media and covert alternative media affiliates, foreign government. They cannot contain or defeat what they do not understand. Is any of this normal? Think sealed indictments count. Think resignations of CEOs. Think resignations of senators. Think resignations of Congress. Think terminations of senior FBI. Think terminations of senior DOJ. Watergate times 1,000. Attacks will only intensify. Logical thinking. Ask yourself a simple question. Why?
Literally, why?
Why?
Why? Think about
Why?
Look at the depth, the breadth, and the gravity of what you're talking about here. Do you understand what this means? Like, everybody wants to like get their little cynicism hat on and run around, light their hair on fire, scream and yell, and act like all these different things that don't matter. And so what we've been watching is we're watching all of these people that were quote unquote around quote for Q, that were talking to you, that you were following around with the praying medics of the world, the Carly Bonets of the world. All of these people have completely stepped away from talking about any of the stuff that has to do with this. Why? Because they weren't here for Q or Trump. They were opportunistic people that were here for something completely different. And what it wasn't to haphazardly misunderstanding something. It was to literally misinterpret it on purpose and put it back out to the public so that you would continue to be confused and you'd never be able to orient yourself into what it is that the true meaning of America is and what MAGA is actually doing to help our country.
And what Q is doing.
To help MAGA.
to help MAGA and our country. Now, that's Q post 1822 on 8/6/2018. The very next post, Shady, is very important. This is the bill that opened the door for Twitter, Facebook, Google, and et cetera to censor and control. Think Russian bots. Think foreign propaganda. The more you know. Q. This was H.R. 5181 to counter foreign disinformation and propaganda and for other purposes. This bill also financed content creators, Shady Groove, to discredit us, okay? Now, going forward, let's look at what that means, okay? I have proof that I was selected as a threat and falsely labeled as a foreign disinfo agent, Shady. Okay? So you and me and myself are a victim of big tech's targeted harassment and the government's in coordination of the takedown of conservative voices, okay? Targeted by HRC, okay? Nobody wants to report on this, and here's the proof. This is it. For those who think this war is fake or we are not considered a major threat, this is a direct attack by Hillary Clinton on Q and pro-POTUS patriots. The article reference has an embedded link that literally targets you, me, actually me only. Like, you know, and this, so they must have thought that I was going to become something. I don't know, Shady, but this is it. I am on this list. This is my account. Right here. They were Xing off in real time. They wanted to stop our voices for talking about Q. The internet infrastructure is under attack. The agency that oversees the online address book warns. Okay, so this is the proof. Clinton deep state. This is who was targeting us and me directly, Shady Groove. And why? Because I'm talking about Bigfoot?
No.
Because I'm talking about Q.
You're talking about government corruption.
Talking about government corruption. So I have the proof. Not only that, on 2/22/2019 is when Hillary put me on that list from this Politico article, okay? This is the Politico article, and it basically, there it is. This is the status. The threat is real. It's real, okay? It's real. It's not fake. And everybody, all these shills hated when I was telling you about this, Shady Grove. You know, isn't that weird?
Yes.
They hated it. They hated it. You were targeted by Hillary Clinton. Why? Is it because you guys work for Hillary Clinton? Here's the article from Hillary Clinton's page, and I'm just going to go to it because it's all archived. I've got it all archived. But right here, it says, it talks about Russia and all that other stuff. And it says this same core group of accounts to the company first identified last year in a study as anchoring a wide-scale influence campaign in the 2018 elections. Okay? I didn't join X until 2018, Shady. 2018, 2019, it's a voter fraud, and that's that list of people that I showed you earlier, okay? That's how they got you censored, me censored, this show censored. It's amazing.
Okay, now, take everything that he's just said and now understand, like, what has happened. What ended up happening? What ended up happening was JFK Jr., what ended up happening was Nasara Jassara. What ended up happening was medbeds. What ended up happening was war castles. What ended up happening was devolution, Insurrection Act, all of these different nonsensical things about executive orders and all this stuff. None of that, 0.0 of that was mentioned by Q. None of it. What Q said was something very, very different than every bit of all of that rhetoric that I just mentioned. Every bit of all that rhetoric that I just mentioned had one very central key component. None of it would have been by the book.
Yeah.
That's the key component.
You can't just go arrest people. Like, you guys understand the law, right, Shady?
Everything that Q said that we support, me, the reason I came personally, the reason I came to a microphone was because I believed that what Q was saying that Donald Trump was going to do was to do everything by the book. That doesn't mean do everything that I want him to do, and it doesn't mean to do everything that I think he or arrest everybody person that I think is guilty. What it means is that you're going to submit evidence, you're going to impanel a grand jury, and you're going to see if the grand jury returns an indictment, and if they do, you're going to prosecute. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want anything else. That's all I want. I want the evidence to be presented to a trustworthy DOJ and them to decide whether or not they're going to prosecute, and I will trust their judgment.
Now, I want to thank Whipson Spur. Thank you for 5 gifted subscriptions to the MG Show. Artaja, thank you so much. Keep bringing the booms. $50 Rumble rant. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
E-Boyle, 1 subscription. Thank you. KX2, 5 subscriptions to the MG Show, and G Brothers, 5 as well. So what I want to do is, if you ever need these, okay, my new Q proofs are all called pesky Q proof. So if you go to my account and hit this, you can search pesky Q proofs, because I haven't talked about all of them on this show because they're just coming in on the daily. All right.
Time.
We don't have time. So these pesky Q proofs are right here. Let's go to the latest. The latest one is another pesky Q proof. Sessions began the Epstein investigations. You didn't think we highlighted Epstein for no reason, did you? So now we got Jeff Sessions, who used to be a Trust Sessions shady. Right? Sessions began the investigation. When that is revealed, those who doubted may see the light. The wheels of justice turn slow, but when they turn, they are powerful. 10x speed now underway. We are back online. Pelosi attempted to block. You didn't think we highlighted Epstein for no reason, did you? Those who were once protected are no longer. Timing is everything. Hunter becomes the prey. Hunters become the prey, guys. And that's Q post on 7/8/2019. And respectively 7/28/2020. So that's a pesky Q proof, right? Now we've got all these guys subpoenaed. Here's another one. Obama. This is a pesky Q proof on the sale.
Epstein, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm sorry to go back, but just to say that what you just showed, the one with Sessions, that specifically Sessions is subpoenaed, guys. Sessions was just subpoenaed with all the other attorneys generals in regards to the Epstein case specifically. Okay? This is insane on its face. Just the idea that there was ever somebody on the internet that wrote this down however long ago, doesn't matter how long ago. There's no way that the same people that wrote this post aren't the people that are currently in charge of your administration. That's the point I wanted to make. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No problem. But it's important to understand that these are pesky Q proofs, Shady Proof. All right. So let's go to the latest. Okay. We're at the latest. Here's another one, pesky Q proof. As the sale of Obama's home goes much deeper, darker. On 8/5/2025, Les Wexner, Jeffrey Epstein's linked billionaire, pays $37 million for Obama's rental home on Martha's Vineyard. Q post 3366 on 7/8/2019. Les Wexner, founder of Victoria's Secrets. Connect the dots. 22/20/2020. Post 3875. Epstein, Wexner. The story goes much deeper and darker. So what's interesting is a Martha Vineyard sale was favored by the Obamas as a summer retreat. Has quietly changed hands for $37 million. $2 million below its May asking price. So what was the asking price, Poussin? $39 million. I just figured I'd throw that at her. All right. So the buyer is the trust tied to billionaire retail magnate Les Wexner, longtime head of L Brands and founder of Victoria's Secret, and a former Jeffrey Epstein client. Q proof.
Effectively, Wexner is the person that made Epstein a human being. Epstein was nobody, and then Epstein became Les Wexner's little side boy.
Yep. Let's keep going. Q proofs. We're doing pesky Q proofs, okay? We're showing you why it's more relevant today. Q is more relevant today than the first term, okay? This is John Sullivan on 8/4 saying that the reporting that the grand jury for the grand conspiracy will likely take place in Florida. 7/1/2018, post 1660. Would a second special counsel be based in corrupt D.C.? Would a grand jury be members of the D.C. community? No.
Nope.
Q proof.
Q proof.
It was Huber back then, but it's changed because of that, okay?
That's irrelevant.
Q proof. So could it be another pesky Q proof? On 8/3/2025, FBI Director Kash Patel opens a law enforcement office in New Zealand. Okay?
And all of the Flynn people are upset about this, by the way.
They should be.
Oh, why? Because we're investigating the foreign intel assets that are working as digital soldiers.
Five Eyes. We're investing Flynn's involvement in Five Eyes. Yes.
Which is running the digital soldier network that is psyoping us.
Yeah. So 7/3/2018, post 1666 and 1667, respectively. Reread drops regarding Five Eyes. Five Eye, FVEY, will be extremely important going forward. UK primary, turn taken, FBI, DOJ to state Hussein White House, including CIA. Other appointments start to foreign bad actors. Rod Rosenstein deadline, we have the server. Normally, intelligence passed from one member of the Five Eyes Alliance, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK, and the US, to another member comes through an official channel for intelligence sharing. However, Nunez, upon reviewing that document, was formally launched the FBI investigation and said that there's no intelligence shared through that official channel, meaning that that intelligence was shared through unofficial means, okay? New Zealand, Five Eyes. FBI director took a historic step this week by opening a new law enforcement attaché in Wellington, New Zealand. The FBI has over 60 such offices around the world to work with partners building intelligence networks. Now, according to Q, New Zealand was the one where you didn't need to show your credentials for access.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then all this, the Five Eyes stuff is critical. Let me just throw this in there to everybody so you understand. The way that Q explained they were organizing Five Eyes was the 5 different country of intelligence agencies are effectively outsourcing the spying on the other country's citizens. Therefore, no country is actually spying on its own citizens. That's one of the things that Five Eyes does.
Thank you, Chatelet, 1 subscription, and thank you, Paul Bunyan. Thank you, 1 subscription in the MG
17
show.
if you're loving this.
Yeah. Now, so Q-tards don't understand this, do they? We understand exactly what's happening to Donald Trump today because of Q, okay?
Yes.
I'm very proud to say that.
Yes, and we've navigated the first 6 months of his administration flawlessly.
Yes, we're undefeated. Shady Groove, here we go. This is another pesky Q-proof. 8-1, Christopher Wray referred to DOJ, offer claims he misled lawmakers on Catholic memo, China probes. 10/21/2020, post 4925, Christopher Wray was crossed out with a red X. Trust Wray was no longer trusted. Got it? Christopher Wray referred to DOJ over claims he misled lawmakers on Catholic memo probes, etc. Pesky Q-proof, Shady Grove. Let's see. Do we have another one here? Oh, could this be a developing pesky Q-proof? John Brennan's Crossfire Hurricane. This is 7/30/2025. That fusion cell, also known as the task force, was comprised of a total of 15 members. Well, on 1/29/2018, post 643, real time, 7 congressional members, 3 senators, 2 former Obama senior officials, 4 outside contractors, no clearance, no top-level clearance, no sensitive-level clearance, no clearance. At the SCIF, at the D.C. cap, top security clearance is mandatory for admission. How is that possible? So how many? So we've got 15, and I count, let's see. How many do we count, Shady? You ready? We got 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 16, okay, plus Obama.
Yep.
It's there.
Core. That's the core of the group that did what they did. They faked the intelligence briefing. What Tulsi is putting out, what they are talking about right now, what's currently in your news about this is all true. Everything we showed you during Q about how they operated this and about how they initiated it with the presidential daily briefing, and Obama started it, Clapper and Comey directed it with the SCIF. All of that came out in 2017.
And we have it in Q proofs. That post was 1/29/2018, that post, okay? And now it's coming out today, okay? This is why Q is more relevant today than it was at any time ever, really. All right, so this is another super pesky Q proof, Shady Groove. The CIA director Ratcliffe on D-Class. Important to fully digest and understand. Follow for days ahead of D-Class. Note the pen. You have more than you know. The first D-Class post was on 11/6/2017, post 121. There's 114 posts with D-Class, Shady.
Yep.
Okay. Let's keep going. Again, go to my In the Matrix on Twitter and put pesky Q proof. Okay. And you can find all of these. Here's just another huge pesky Q proof. On 7/27/25, President Trump announces a landmark trade deal with the European Union. 11/11/17, 135, Rothschilds owned and controlled banks. European Union, European Central Bank. This is huge. This is going against the Rothschilds, bringing back the Rothschild owned and controlled banks to your treasury with individual deals with all of these countries. I mean, how many Q proofs are in these posts here? Every bank, every single one of these is a Q proof. Do you understand how many Q proofs that is, Shady?
And how many deals?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yes.
Bilateral deals that America
Exactly
is
right.
doing, not the elite. The globalist elite aren't negotiating for themselves right now. Donald Trump is negotiating for you.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly what Q explained that needed to happen. We explained how you would lead. That's the reason so many of these things that you're seeing now that he can point to and go right back to so easily. Not only is it fresh in our mind because we did it or because we read it, but because that's what the natural order of things would be. That's what a normal human being would do. The globalists keep shoving all these decisions down your throat, acting like they somehow come up to these conclusions that make no sense, and that's the consensus. It's gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Trump is reorienting the whole game to be America first.
All right, let me go to this one too, because this is another one. This shows you just about Cambodia and wanting to trade with the U.S. to end the war in Thailand. So this is another pesky Q proof because, are you paying attention, everyone? Where are the real Q diggers not paying attention? They're not. They're just picking up on these little surface level stuff. This is foundational, Shady. President Trump is ending the Rothschild-owned and controlled banks by making deals directly with countries in Cambodia. Now, he also ended a war with Thailand. Okay, this is 11/11/2022. Shady Group post 4962/1913 is the creation of the Federal Reserve. Who are the silent thieves? Why are they manipulating you? How are they stealing your wealth? Bubble, crash, steal, lie, repeat. What is inflation? Monetary manipulation. Taxation without representation. Put an end to the endless. 1913. And then 11/11/17. Rothschild's owned and controlled banks, Cambodia, National Bank of Cambodia, Shady. This is it. And what are we talking about? Inflation. Why is the Fed resisting inflation? Okay. Now, and that also 1913 is when that rose garden was put in, and now it's covered up and it's got sigils on each side locking it down because the rose garden symbolizes their win against you. Guys,
their control over your financial system and your White House. That's what the symbology is. And now the altar has been broken. You have been freed. Your economy. Guess what? I'm going to explain something to you that you're not even going to believe. Right now, for the first time in history, there's more houses out there that are being sold. There's 500,000 more houses out there that are being sold than are being bought. That's never happened in recorded history in the housing market in America. What does that mean? That means that the illegals are leaving. And the reason that the housing market and all the financial system was so screwed up to begin with is because there's millions of illegal aliens here occupying residences that Americans should be occupying. So now that housing market is getting ready to course correct. Powell still will not lower the rate. And the idea that Powell won't lower the rate proves exactly what Jeff is presenting to you right here. It's proof of it. He won't help because the Federal Reserve is fighting Trump, not trying to work with him.
Yeah. Right. So here's another one, Shady Groove. This is, we have yet another pesky Q proof. 7/24/25. President Trump tours the Federal Reserve. 7/25/2018. Image of Q post says Federal Reserve ending. Q responds, structure future proves past. 2 + 2 confirmations will come fast. We will never again be under their control. Got it?
That's what I signed up for, sir.
That's right. All right. So these are Q proofs. Let's keep going. Here we have another one. This is 2/14/2019. Chatter Bill and Hillary's public health will begin to rapidly deteriorate. On 7/23/2025, DNI Tulsi Gabbard recent declassification reveals that Russian intelligence obtained but chose not to leak highly damaging information about Hillary Clinton's health during her 2016 campaign. Hillary Clinton was allegedly suffering from intensified psycho-emotional problems and was taking heavy tranquilizers. She had reported medical issues including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, deep vein thrombosis, COPD, and chronic fatigue. Obama and senior party officials reportedly found her health condition extraordinarily alarming. This is a Q proof. Wow.
Over and over and over.
Wow.
The reason that this was so easy for Q to put out is because their guilt wasn't hidden. They didn't try to hide it.
It's right. Here's the next one, Shady. This is rapid fire.
You're doing great.
A pesky Q proof with Samantha Power. On 7/20/2025, Trump posts, how did Samantha Power make all that money? On 12/10/2018, Q post 2576 talks about Samantha Power. Those with the most to lose are the loudest. Those who knowingly broke the law in a coordinated effort, treason, are most vocal. Crimes against humanity. Okay? Samantha Power. Right there. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All those
Okay.
loud people.
Yeah, they are loud, aren't they?
Yeah, they
All right,
are.
so let's keep going. I'm sure there's some more. Oh, here we go. Another pesky Q proof. Watergate times 1,000. On 7/20/2025, the GOP erupts after Gabbard exposed Obama administration's treasonous intel plot, framing Trump makes Watergate look like an amateur hour. 8/6/2018, post 1822, first mention of Watergate, 7 posts with Watergate. Watergate times 1,000. View the posts, and I got them all here. Okay, look at that. Look at Shady. Wow. Look at. I just read this one. Well, this is another one, very similar. Yeah, Watergate times 1,000. Attacks will only intensify. I just read that post, 1822, Shady.
Yep.
Another Q proof. And this is yet another one. 12 Q posts with presidential daily briefs or the PDB. On 7/19/2025, Tulsi Gabbard declassified Obama and his leadership team cooked up treasonous conspiracy and notes the presidential daily brief. Okay. The first post of presidential daily brief was 1912. And there's 12 total Q posts. God, I'm telling you guys.
Then this is everything that you've went through. I mean, since we started talking about this, everything that you went through, you're only back to the middle. You're not even back to the middle of July.
I'm in July 19. Yeah.
That's less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All of that within the last 2 weeks just to get to there.
So as news unlocks map, we get another pesky Q proof on 7/17/2025. President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Scripts. 3/19/2018, post 902, seals. Where there was once darkness, there is now light. Sea to shining sea. Godspeed. Okay. Wow. That's another one. Could this be come a pesky Q proof as news unlocks? On 2/23/2018, post 8/16 says libel laws end of MSM. And on 7/12/2025, broadcast bias, networks downplay violent attacks on ICE to push immigration agenda. Time to reform libel laws and hold MSM accountable for fake news. Critics argue that the current protections like Sullivan let outlets smear with impunity, eroding trust. Stronger laws incentivize accuracy, punish lies, could finally end the biased mainstream media empire. Boom.
Well, it's not like you're seeing that happen.
Right.
I mean, where's the biased media empire compared to where it was whenever these posts were being dropped? They were completely in control. This is all before
they were censoring us, Shady.
They were censoring everything that we said.
Yeah.
And are not only just censoring what we said by saying that, oh, well, these platforms have the ability to edit. Before that, they didn't have any ability to edit. They were just supposed to be a free, open platform as long as you obey the rules of not posting pornography or whatever the heck there's stupid rules are. We didn't disobey any broadcasting standard. As a matter of fact, compared to most every other show you listen to, this is a pretty clean show as far as language is concerned and talking about gory stuff and raunchy sex stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, another one. Let's keep going because now we're in 6/12/2025 because DJT post on True Social, quote, why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? Who conned the world with the Russia hoax? 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? They created the Epstein files. On 12/17/2019, post 3660, deconstruction of the foreign-controlled intel, U.S. media, plus alternative, critical, marching to the same beat, anti-Trump. Relevant to today, foreign assets, deconstruction of foreign-controlled intel, U.S. media, plus alternative, critical, untouchable regarding state-backed, Epstein thought so, puppets and puppet masters, Q. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files if there was anything there that couldn't have hurt MAGA movement? Why didn't they use it? Okay. Wow. How many Q-proofs? Do we have more, Shady, do you think?
I'm sure that's I mean, like I said, you're not even back to July yet, man. We could go. Yeah. I mean,
July 1st. Got you.
But this has been escalating, and I think that it's a great time for us to like give you this overview because, like Jeff said, he's making these posts, he's showing you what's going on, but the whole digital network is blocking us out. They don't want other people to see this stuff, and none of them are literally talking about this. They're only just lighting their hair on fire about Epstein and Israel. You should be able to see clearly right now who it was that actually meant America first and who it was that didn't mean that they were America first.
Here's another one. Another huge pesky Q-proof. 7/1/2025. President Donald Trump says Elon Musk doesn't want to play this game with me. On 1/21/2025, EM equals Elon Musk, guys. Okay? Nobody playing the game gets a free pass. Nobody. Wow. Okay? Say it isn't so. Another pesky Q-proof. Here's his subsidies. Elon Musk knew about his subsidies. Here's Trump talking about his subsidies. Another pesky Q-proof, guys. I'm telling you, I'm standing behind it. Okay? I'm standing behind it. This is the one right here, Shady Grove, where it first started. I'm like, holy moly. This is all of the world's central bank rates, okay? The U.S. is way down here at 4.5%, but Switzerland is 0.25. We should be up here, okay? And this is the pesky Q-proofs of all of the foreign Rothschilds-owned banks. Boom, pretty much matches up to what that letter says. Wow. Okay? What about this one? Crispy Gnome, Alligator Alcatraz. 3 detention centers being prepped. Monitor funding. Wow. We knew that back in 2019. Okay? And it's happening now. More. Another one. 6/28/25. President Trump posts no tax dollars for riots legislation. Okay? Controls organizations. Look at this. This is right here. Congressman, we got to find out where this is going. Legislation should be passed immediately. I'm hereby instructing my administration not to pay any money to these radicalized groups, okay? These are the ones. No more money. So Soros controls organizations of people, create division, brainwash, management, operator of slush funds, personal net worth never reduces. Think DOJ settlements, consumer, Iran, environmental PACs, etc., 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 guys. Q-proofs. Pesky. 6/27 AG Bondi states that the Supreme Court has directed district courts to cease issuing nationwide injunctions against President Trump. Logical thinking. A, how can arrest occur prior to removing the corruption from the DOJ and FBI? B, how can arrests occur prior to safely securing the majority in the Supreme Court? Constitution, rule of law. Now, we need to get the judges also, Shady Grove. We need to get them approved. The 130, 50 judges or whatever it is, 35?
Yep.
This is the leakers, Shady Grove. Surely Q never talked about leakers. Look at Scoop. Trump limit share classified operations with congressman after leak on Iran bombing damage. Leakers exposed. These people are stupid. Okay? I'm sure we don't have another one here. Hunters become the hunted. We got a ton of those. President Trump says, I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter. Hunters become the hunted. 9 drops.
And another, one thing that's interesting about that for you guys to understand that a lot of the, Q was said that a number of times, hunters become the hunted. So effectively what Q was trying to explain to you was that whenever the hunters become the hunted, the news will be unlocking the map. You understand? Like this is the way that say, okay, right now we were the hunted. All of us were the hunted. Whenever we were on the internet, they were coming after us. They were censoring us. They were saying we couldn't talk. All these different things were happening against us. You're to be ostracized. Right now, that was whenever they were hunting us. It's been announced by Trump that we're hunting them. Then all of a sudden, look at this barrage. Notice also that we got a huge amount of the administration approved and in there and set up and working functionally before any of this stuff started to roll downhill really, really quickly because there's no impediment anymore. There's nothing stopping what is coming.
Yeah. And another pesky Q-proof, and we were right about Iran too, Shady. Everybody else was reeing and we were like sitting there being all cozy, weren't we?
Every single one of our audience didn't over Iran.
So this is the President Trump posted a meme about Obama and the 1.7 billion in cash in Iran. I'm sure Q never talked about the Oops. Oh, my bad.
Boom.
Wow.
Oops.
bribes, kickbacks, special interest groups, organized and planned by Barack Hussein, Bill Clinton, and Hillary Clinton, carried out by Hussein. We've known this since 2018 right here, Shady.
That's only
God.
like 8 years ago.
Another one, 622. And I'm leaving out the spy op one, which is the big banger, Shady, that I got on CNN. Yeah, look at this. Rigged election. What happens if China successfully duplicates, clone, and select ballots? Ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. He was right. He was right.
So were you.
And so were you.
All of you were right, you know, and you were
Thomas
right.
Crooks. Here's another one. Voices in the head, Shady.
It was
That's a cube proof.
Your discernment made you right.
Analyze shooter pawn. Voices in head, we know. Thomas Crooks was talking to imaginary people, Shady. Q proof. Libel laws. End of MSM.
That's already happening with all of the. I mean, effectively, that's what Trump is using whenever to get all these cases settled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why Stern's going away. That's why Colbert's going away. All of these people, they have to go away because the network can no longer stand the or the defamation case pursuit of Trump.
Yeah,
because they've been lying. They can't be sued for defamation if they don't lie. You guys know that, right? Trump wouldn't be able to get a dime out of these people if they didn't blatantly lie and know they blatantly lied and then capitulated to that and decided to give in and pay him off.
Yeah.
They're guilty.
Again, here's another one. 6/8/2025. President Trump posts on Truth Social about using the National Guard to stop civil unrest. Post 22, Shady Groove. Who controls the National Guard? Why was the National Guard recently activated in select cities within the U.S.? Can the National Guard work in coordination with the Marines? Do conditions need to be satisfied to authorize? What former president used the military to save the republic? And what occurred exactly? Wasn't that Lincoln, Shady?
Yes.
Biggest drop to ever be provided on poll, study, and prepare. The masses tend to panic in such situations. No war, no civil unrest, clean and swift. You know, you just got these little, soy boys like pounding drums over at at the Portland, ice facility. It's calm. It's calm. There's no unrest.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. That's what people don't realize. People don't realize what it would be had Donald Trump not set the story straight in the beginning of his administration to say that we're not going to tolerate this the way that you guys forced us to tolerate it in 2020.
Yeah. Here we go. There's another pesky Q-proof Shady Groove. I just 5/12/25 human trafficking hotline operator failed to report tips to law enforcement. The Clinton Foundation human trafficking line. I've got the thread as well. Okay. Clinton Foundation. The Clinton Foundation, Polaris Project, all of that. They do it. They run it. No wonder they didn't, it's just so crazy, Shady. And, that's what I've got so far. There's a lot more. And I need to get going here, Shady, because I got to take Mom to the doctor. But we could do hours on the latest pesky Q-proofs. That was 1 full hour of the latest pesky Q-proof, Shady.
With just the last couple of months.
Yeah. Let me just do this, Shady Groove, real quick. Let me get this over here, Yeti. Here we go. All right. Are you ready, outdoor crew, or anyone want to be ready for anything? Check out the Red Pro Series 72-hour emergency kit from Caddis Sports. This is a serious 72-hour survival pack built in a rugged tactical backpack and loaded with everything that one person needs. 2,400 calories of food bars, 5 water pouches, thermal emergency blanket, 36-piece first aid kit, emergency stove and canteen cup. All of it has a 5-year shelf life, so you're covered from hurricanes, wildfire, blackouts, whatever life throws at you. Whether you're off the grid or just want peace of mind at home, the kit is a must-have, compact, reliable, and made of for real emergencies. Use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% today, and order yours today at caddissports.com, CADDIS sports.com. Gear up, stay safe, and be ready when it counts.
Thank you so much, guys. And thank you, guys, everybody. Stick around. Shady's going to take over for the second hour.
Shady is going to go over the hundreds of knowingly posts. And Shady Grove, good job today. Thank you guys very much. I love you. And Shady, we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
Boom. Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received a generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
In truth, everybody runs around every day talking about truth, and they're trying to get to the truth, and they want to hear the truth. That's one of the biggest lies I've ever heard in my life.
Soldier, keep on marching on.
Most people have no desire whatsoever to even get within 100 miles of the truth, and in some instances, that's too damn close. So my conclusion is, most of you are going to get exactly what you're going to deserve over the next who knows how many years. Some of us are going to rise to the occasion. We are going to shine. We are going to shine. We're going to sparkle like diamonds in the sunrise on the most beautiful day that you can remember that you've ever seen in your life. And we're going to do it simply and only because it's the right thing to do. For the human race. For God. For our children. For the future of this world.
Keep on marching on. Head down to the
and it won't matter what happens to each of us as individuals. The only thing that will matter is that we rose to the occasion. We sparkled. We did what was right when no one else would. We said what was right when no one else would. We spent our money for the right things when no one else would. We worked and toiled the cause of freedom when no one else would. We took the slander. We took the libel. We took the bullets. We took the prison. We took wounds. We took death. We took whatever was aimed at us. And we will prevail. It may take a long, long time. I may not see it in my lifetime. I may not live to be a part of the victory celebration, but I will be victorious. And all of those with me will be victorious. And we will shine.
Waiting on that morning sun.
You all stand around and talk about it. We put on the armor of God a long, long time ago.
Wow. Do you believe him? Do you believe him? If you believe what William Cooper was saying to you right there, then you know that you're right exactly where it is you're supposed to be. Because I believed him. And look at where we're at. I didn't know how it was going to work out. And it's so interesting to like kind of sit here and listen back to those words. A long time ago, whenever I would sit and listen to Bill Cooper, I was listening to it on a shortwave radio. I don't know if you've listened to shortwave before, but it's kind of a whole different experience than listening to FM radio. And as that was building up, I'm kind of like thinking, man, how did we get here? And bringing into the conversation what it was that Jeff was showing in the first hour about all of the different things that have been leading up to the moment that we currently find ourselves at, which is we're getting ready to get into. We're going to watch the Tulsi Gabbard interview on Ingram yesterday, and dig into the knowingly posts that Q made, and going through the post that said knowingly, and how the context of the post that Q was saying is knowingly is connecting the past to today. And this isn't prophetic. This isn't Nostradamus. This isn't some sort of seer looking into a crystal ball and saying, oh, what is going to happen in the future? Okay, that's not what is going on. And all of these people that are out there on the internet trying to drive you to absurdity. I want you to understand that. They're trying to get your mind to believe the absurd. Because once you have believed the absurd, they have you. once you believe that people that are dead are alive, once you believe that people that are serving in government are really just wearing masks, once you believe that all the people that have perpetrated these crimes against America have already been Gitmo'd, and it's just a matter of time before somebody tells it, none of that lines up with by the book. None of it. Okay? So when I'm listening to Bill Cooper talk right there, I'm thinking, oh man, it's like, oh wow, how did he, there's going to be a day that comes where we all see it, where we're going to be victorious, and where the truth comes out. How did he know that Barack Hussein Obama and these people were going to make a mistake like Russiagate? He didn't necessarily know that. But what he did know was that the players have they're a one-trick pony. They will always double down on their lie. They will never admit it. If you understand that that's what they're always going to do, then you could theoretically project that one day they would mess up. That day is here. The day that they messed up happened a while back, but the day for account for the day that they messed up is ahead. And what you're seeing out there on the internet, all of these people that are running all of these narratives on you, oh, well, we've had investigations for our whole lives. We've done this our whole lives. We've seen this, the Benghazi and all this and all these investigations, and nothing ever comes of it, and da-da-da. Did you ever have a DOJ you could trust in a position where they could actually bring a case and prosecute somebody? Would you have believed that they would have been able to actually garner a conviction had they prosecuted any of these people 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago in D.C., where it's 97% Democrat? Do you think we could have convicted them? Do you think that the people that were running the FBI, like Comey and McCabe and Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and all of those big players that were over there at the FBI, do you think that those people were actually involved in investigating crime? Yes or no? Do you think that's what they were doing? Do you think that they were really investigating crime like it shows in the movies, and that they were really going after the bad guys, and the people that were out here that were harming rural Americans? Remember, the rural Americans are the smelly Walmart people. That's what Comey and that's what Strzok and company called you, the smelly Walmart people. So you have to be able to believe that they're out there investigating things that are helpful to the smelly Walmart people. Got to set the stage, and you've got to use your discernment, and you've got to understand that your life belongs to you. Your life doesn't belong to anybody else. Your discernment belongs to you. It's an individual game you're playing here in America, or anywhere in reality in life. It's an individual game. But in most other countries, it's a collective government. In America, it's an individual government meant for you personally. The government isn't meant for everybody around you. It's meant for you. It's meant for you to be able to utilize the structure set up for you to protect yourself from when it oversteps its bounds. And the three branches of government are there to stand as a gatekeeper to stop it from happening. Does it work all the time? No. Does it work more than any other times or any other countries? Oh my God, by a long shot, it's not even close. So I'd like for you, as our audience that are hearing me, I'd like for you to stand in your power from this moment forward as we start to ramp up what it was that Q told us, what it was that we communicated about, and to not be shy anymore out there. I think that a number of you see the way that I play on Twitter or X and the way that I talk directly to these people. The reason that X is such a powerful platform is that it gives you the ability to go right to the person that you have an issue with and say to them right to what they say what it is your issue is for other people to see. That's the way that the social media construct is supposed to work. But they have the game rigged because they have all these people that are pretending like what it is that they're saying is something that you should think because they're acting like that they think that. But if you were to take those things and you were to go sit down by yourself and you were to say to yourself, whatever it is, crazy thing that you just heard on the internet, and think, oh, how would I have perceived this 10 years ago? You will all of a sudden realize that you have found yourself lost in the forest of the absurd. So from here, we're going to do, my producer has the Tulsi Gabbard interview with Laura Ingraham ready to go. I think it's about 8 or 9 minutes or something. We're going to play that. There might be a couple spots that I interrupt to talk to you, but after we play that, we're going to go look at the Q posts that talk about knowingly, and we're going to see if the Q post, however many years ago that Q post might have been, that mentioned the word knowingly, had anything to do with what Tulsi Gabbard talks about in this 10-minute interview. So let's roll it, Yeti.
A grand jury investigation is now underway regarding the Trump-Russia hoax. The media enablers that peddled the lie for years, though, are circling the wagons.
This is extraordinarily stupid. It's extraordinarily stupid on so many counts. Barack Obama had nothing to do with this by anybody's accounts.
We're all for transparency on any potential corruption, right? But this is something that has been combed over for a decade now.
I think they're trying to create the appearance of progress in this investigation without actually making any progress.
They all did their job, right? For the 4 years, 5 years. Meanwhile, President Trump, he's awaiting answers.
I have nothing to do. Pam is doing a great job. I have nothing to do with it. I will tell you this. They deserve it. I was happy to hear it. I actually read it just like you did. I have nothing to do with it.
Here with reaction is Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence. Director Gabbard, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Laura.
There's a report tonight from the Federalist that the DOJ is actually asking you for more documents in its grand jury probe. Is that true? And what are they asking for now?
That is true, Laura, and I just want to point out how important this is, that Attorney General Pam Bondi, through the Department of Justice, is taking this necessary first step toward accountability, which is essential for the American people to begin to have any kind of trust in the integrity of our democratic republic. I met with the Department of Justice prosecutors today, and yes, they are committed to leaving no stone unturned as they conduct this grand jury investigation and find the truth. Obviously, we've already handed over the documents that we've declassified and released publicly over the last few weeks. They have more questions, and they're going to be really taking a deep dive into this again, looking everywhere to find the truth and conduct this very serious investigation.
You heard the media reaction, and a lot of these same people were just buying lock, stock, and barrel what was sold to them during the 2016 election. But they're essentially saying, this is all old news. This is such a stupid political move on their part. Into that, you say?
They are using the same old tactic that the deep state's propaganda arm in the media uses. Whenever they come across something that is true and that doesn't go along with whatever their narrative is that they're trying to shove down the throats of the American people, they first usually ignore it, as they did when I first released these documents a couple of weeks ago. They tried to ignore it. When they realized that they weren't going to get away with this, that this story was going to continue breathing life, we continued releasing new documents. Then they decided, we'll take this approach of say, this is nothing. There's nothing really to see here. This is bizarre. This is a conspiracy. These are the things that they do over and over and over again. And the next step they will take when they feel that they are not succeeding in getting rid of this truth that we have uncovered for the American people, then they will go down the route of we must destroy and smear and attack the credibility of those who are delivering the truth to the American people. They've done this to President Trump. They've done this to me. They've done this to so many different people, once again, who are trying to tell the American people the truth and expose these people, many of whom you just showed, for who they are as the propaganda arm of the deep state, which would have no power and no influence if they weren't able to feed their lies into a willing spokesperson through the propaganda media.
Now, Director, you said there was irrefutable evidence that Obama was the mastermind of this intelligence manipulation and the perpetuation of the Russia hoax. What is that irrefutable evidence for our viewers tonight?
Yeah, Laura, as you were playing those clips of these people like Morning Joe seemingly befuddled, saying that by no account is any of this true, I would challenge them to see if they've actually read the documents, every single page of the documents that we've released over the last couple of weeks. If not, go to odni.gov, It's all right there for anyone to see. And those who go in and read this will see how President Obama directed that a National Security Council meeting be called to talk about Russia, that the report that came out of that meeting was filled with tasks that were delivered by James Clapper's assistant to John Brennan and to other elements of the intelligence community. John Brennan was the head of the CIA at the time, all saying per the president's direction, per the president's order. And very specifically, they were tasked to create an intelligence assessment that detailed how Moscow tried to influence the election. Not if, but how. And this was the beginning of this manufactured intelligence assessment where they knowingly wrote things in this assessment that were false, and they knew they were false. They knew that they were basing it on discredited intelligence or documents like the Steele dossier that was politically motivated and that they knew was false. And this was how they came up with the Russia hoax that was then weaponized and used to try to delegitimize the president, President Trump, and to try to ultimately enact this years-long coup throughout his entire 4 years of his first administration.
And they further say that there's like this idea of saying that Obama is guilty of treason, that there's almost no chance that he's going to be charged or convicted of treason. So why even go there? And I'll pose that question to you.
The integrity of our democratic republic depends on the American people knowing the truth about what actually happened and seeking that accountability, bringing about that accountability. I don't know how else to characterize what happens when there is a sitting president of the United States, there is a director of the CIA, a director of national intelligence under President Obama, the head of the NSA, James Comey is the head of the FBI, all coming together, and this is documented in what we released, all coming together to create this lie with the intent of delegitimizing the duly elected president of the United States because the person they wanted to win actually lost. And the American people made their own choice in spite of everything that happened in that 2016 election, and they chose Donald Trump. This was not a one-off thing. This wasn't just, oh, well, they fudged the lines a little bit. They created a lie and propagated that lie in order to try to undermine the person that the American people chose to be our president and commander-in-chief.
To your point that you made earlier, that when they're losing on the facts, they demonize the messenger. And in this case, you're the messenger. And I think this is a big reason your opposition to the forever war syndrome, that's one reason. But then this was another reason they clearly did not want you in your position. And to that point, Mark Warner, of course, Democrat senator from Virginia, wrote on X today, Tulsi Gabbard is a threat to our national security and should be fired. He's taking his orders pretty well, don't you think, Director?
He has and continues to be a reliable soldier. And you're right there, Laura, to make that comparison, because these very same tactics they are using now are the same tactics that the warmongers of Washington have consistently used whenever anyone challenges them to say, hey, this does not serve the best interests of the American people. It does not make us more safe, secure, and free. So why are you doing this? Exposing these people for who they are. And once again, who is the deep state? What does it consist of? We're seeing this revealed in real time here. And it's important for the American people to pay attention and realize, like, hey, with the mainstream propaganda media, we got to pay attention. We got to use our common sense and recognize we should accept nothing they say at face value.
And how important is it to root out any remaining problems in these agencies, Director? Because we need our people to believe in the FBI, to believe in the CIA, to or get rid of them altogether. I mean, I hate to say that, or just completely defund a lot of these intelligence agencies. If we can't trust them, if they're going to subvert democracy and subvert our presidency, why are we funding them?
Well, this is, and I'll go back to that Mark Warner tweet that you put out saying that I'm a threat to national security. Why? Because I'm actually exposing the truth. As Director of National Intelligence, I'm doing the work to go and root out those deep state bad actors within the intelligence community because our country's national security depends on it. The rule of law requires it. The integrity of our democratic republic requires that, rooting out the truth, telling the truth to the American people, and bringing about that accountability. So yes, it is essential across the board, not only to root out the individual bad actors, but to enact the kind of institutional reform to make it so that these kinds of things cannot be allowed to happen again.
Director, thank you very much.
Wow. Thoughts? It echoes from so long ago for me personally. The threat to national security. Think about that phrase. I want you to think about that phrase really deep for a second. A threat to national security. Boy, doesn't that just send shivers right down the spine, top to bottom. My God, they're going to get us. Our national security has been threatened. Holy crap! The next thing you know, the nukes are going to be dropping on New York City. We're not even going to. We're going to be scattered around like rats, jumping off of the cliffs of California into the ocean because national security has been threatened. What does it mean whenever a corrupt politician says to you that you're a threat to national security? What does it mean whenever a corrupt FBI director says that you are a threat to national? What does it mean whenever a CIA director says that you are a threat to national security? A human being that's an American that's saying that you're a threat to national security. What kind of authority do those people have to destroy you if they choose to? Do you think about that? Do you slow down for a second to think about are these people saying that people are a threat to national security the same thing as the people that say you talk about conspiracies too much? What if the conspiracy and the threat to national security were the same thing? Do you know what that is? The conspiracy and the threat to national security are both trying to protect you from the truth. I want you to realize that before we go on to talk about what I'm going to talk about. That's the reason that those things are said to you, to stop you from pursuing the truth, to stop you from listening to what someone is saying. Bill Cooper would have never told you to not listen to someone. These elected politicians are out there telling you that Tulsi Gabbard is a threat to national security after being at the helm of the largest national security organization ever created known to mankind. She's in charge of it. And the threat to national security that he's so worried about, how does he get so loud? Didn't Q say to pay attention to those that are the loudest? Well, Mark Warner seems a little bit loud. Would he be loud because the truth is being spoken? And isn't it interesting that these people that get loud when the truth is being spoken, they always call you the bully whenever you pursue the truth? You're the bully. They're the victim. You're harassing them. That's what Brennan's going to say. That's what Comey's going to say. And more than likely, that's what Obama is going to say. We'll see where this all goes. But I'm just wanting to paint that whole picture right there to give you a nice, clear, concise moment of discernment so that you understand exactly where it is that you exist. Because what they're trying to do is they're all trying to gaslight you and they're trying to make you think that you're crazy. There's a difference between outrage and fake outrage. Okay, and I was talking about this yesterday on X, a conversation with Bigger Truth, but kind of the way that I learned how to interpret the news a long time ago whenever I was young and getting into all this stuff and listening to Bill Cooper was I was noticing how that the media acted like things were outrageous that weren't outrageous. And so if you take that thought form and you plan it on what you've been watching for, like, let's say just the last 6 months, take out everything else that happened for the last decade and just look at what happened for the last 6 months, because it's very important. You already knew the Democrats were nuts, but in the last 6 months, you've gotten a nice heaping helping of lunatic people that claim that they're conservative. But if you dig into their lives, their lives don't match anything like a conservative, i.e. Roger Stone, Laura Loomer, Buck Sexton, like all of these people, like who? None of these people are Republicans. None of these people are actually conservatives. They are talking heads. They're taking advantage of being in a position where that they can make a revenue being a talking head. So, with all of that in mind, what do? You look for the fake outrage. You look for the phony outrage. You look for the person that's lighting their hair on fire, and you say to yourself, "Self, is that issue worth lighting your hair on fire? Self, if I were dealing with that issue and I were thinking about that, would I light my hair on fire? What in the world would it be that I would have to think to cause myself to light my hair on fire over that dumb issue?" And a lot of the times, 80% of the times or so, you're going to come to the quick realization that that person is full of it as can be. Now, let's switch gears here. Let's talk about like what it is that we're doing. And let's talk about how we follow this along and how many times has Shady brought up this post? How many times has Shady brought up this post to read to you? And if you guys have been with me on the Q Lounge, you know that I've done this quite a lot, but there's two main posts here that I consider them two of the best posts in the Q map. Number 3724 says, "It must be done right. It must be done according to the rule of law. It must carry weight. It must be proven in the court of law. There can be no mistakes. Good things sometimes take time. Attempts to slow block the inevitable justice," okay, it's saying right there, just so you understand, the attempts to slow block the inevitable being slowing down, blocking justice, will fail. Is it failing right now? Are you seeing the attempt to slow block and inevitable to block justice failing? Considering what we just saw from Tulsi Gabbard, is the block failing? Has the gate come down at least a notch or two to let some water spill over the top? D, election interference in 2016, greater than the Clinton-Hussein illegal FISA. D's, election interference in 2018, greater than Mueller. D's, election interference in 2020, greater than impeachment. Projection, these people are sick, and we, the people, are the cure, not the military. Doesn't say the military is going to come save you. It must be done right. This is the same post, and then this is the reaction to that post. This is when Q is telling you to think about all of the people that have been fired and forced away from the FBI, DOJ, State Department, Senate, Congress, CIA, Department of Defense, the Special Counsel, Federal Judiciary, the Department of Justice, the CIA, locked and loaded. What does it mean to be locked? If you are locked, that means that you are yet to be unlocked. Correct? Yet to be unlocked. 41 posts. Unlocked. What news broke? American contractors where? Hanging from their feet? Reread the drops. Why is this relevant? News unlocks the map. Expand your thinking. Red. Remember Hussein, AIDS, video, hidden message, response, Twitter, roles, actions. Expand your thinking. News unlocks meaning. Not some guy that's pontificating about stuff on the internet, screaming devolution at you unlocks meaning. Talking to me here more about the South Korea. Red. North Korea. Hussein. Asia. Why was the stringer sent out? Decode. News unlocks message. Future proves past. Where's the red cross? Key. What's a key? What's a key to a map? It's a legend. Key unlocks the door of all doors. Info. Stone. The force, strength, capable of yielding power to act on the info. Key plus the stone equals we the people are the cure. That's what it equals. That's what we're doing. That's what I signed up for. I don't know what any of these other people are doing, everybody. This is what I signed up for. This is what I started doing the Q Lounge Live about. And I joined forces with Jeff, and then we started the Matrix Groove Hour together. That's what this to do this. None of this other nonsense is relevant because we're paying attention to what Q is explaining to us to pay attention to, because in the future, you're going to be able to navigate an unbelievable terrain. Think about the terrain that you've been through. Think about the minefield of psychological operations that you've been through. Now paint it in your picture or paint it in your head like it's an obstacle course on Earth. So you've been navigating this obstacle course of psychological operations for the last 7 years. How you doing? Can I get a 47 in the chat if you're doing pretty damn good navigating it on your own? You don't really need Shady. You don't really need Jeff. You come and you pay attention to us because you enjoy our perspective on what it is we're talking about, and we're not railroading narratives down your throat, and we're not throwing fake outrage at you so that you click on more of our stuff. If I wanted to throw outrage at you and get you to click on my stuff and have 100,000 people or whatever on Twitter and throw fake videos at you about nonsense that makes no sense all day, I could do that. Thank you for the 47s. Thank you for standing up for what's right. Thank you for caring about what is right. And I've been saying that ever since the first broadcast I made. June 22nd, 2018. Here in post 306, it says, news unlocks the map, future proofs past. Why was the Lord's Prayer posted? Which version? Why is this relevant? What just came out regarding the Lord's Prayer? What can be connected? Do you believe in coincidences? Review the map post relevant to drops. Again, I'm showing you right now all of these posts that are saying news unlocks the map so that you understand that it's not people. They're people, these guys out there that have got these big accounts down there, like acting like General Flynn's timestamp of a Twitter post matches a Q post, guys. There, at no point did Q say anything about any timestamp connecting to anything other than Dan Scavino or Donald Trump's Twitter accounts, possibly Truth Social accounts, because we connect a lot of the Trump stuff to there, but there was no Truth Social whenever this was said. So to be accurate, it is Q was explaining this is to pay attention to Scavino and Trump's timestamps. That's it. There's nobody else out there running timestamps that you need to pay attention to. And so there's 41 drops that say news unlocks the map, or unlocks meaning, or unlocks something, but it always says news unlocks. It never says Patel Patriot or Rambo and friends are unlocking the map. Trust me. Joe Biden is Joe Biden. He's not a guy in a mask. We got to get these millions of illegals out of here. They weren't sent here to help us. So now we have 41 Q posts with the word knowingly in it, and we're going to read through a few of them here just to give you an idea. Does this connect? Does this connect to what Tulsi Gabbard just said, the 10-minute segment we just read? And does it connect to what's currently happening right now with all of the different AGs that are being subpoenaed, and Mueller has found himself into a mental care facility? Isn't that interesting that Mueller's now in a mental care facility? Will Sessions drop the hammer? 1 of 22. Memo shifts narratives. Memo reinstates Sessions' authority regarding Russia all. Memo factually demonstrates collusion at highest levels. Memo factually demonstrates Hussein admin weaponized intel community to ensnare the D victory plus their insurance. Memo factually demonstrates knowingly false intel provided to the FISA judges to obtain the warrants. The knowingly false intel that they provided to those FISA judges was built off of this intel briefing report that Tulsi just described to you 195%. They never thought she would lose. The 16-year plan to destroy America. Hussein with his 8. Install rogue ops. Leak classified intelligence and military assets. Cut the funding to the military. Command away from the generals. Launch good guy takedown. Internal remove Valerie Jarrett sniffer. Special access program sell-off. Snowden open sources Prism Ski Corps catastrophic to the U.S. military plus bad actors worldwide. Clowns, no such agency. Target, weaken, conservative base. IRS mainstream media. Open border, flood illegals. D win. ISIS MS-13. Fund, install, fear, targeting, removal, domestic access, etc. Assets, etc. So right here, it's explaining to you that the D's are opening the border to flood your country with illegal, but these other numbnuts that are out there broadcasting explain to you that no, the illegals are being brought here intentionally somehow to help us. Blind eye to North Korea nuke build. Classified 1, 2, and 3. Blind eye to Iran. Fund it and supply it. Blind eyes. Class 23 to 41. Stage SC to AS 187. Uranium 1. U1 fund supply Iran to North Korea. Reduce U.S. capacity. Kill NASA. Prevent space domination. Allow bad actors to take down the military satellites worldwide. Secure comms. Install weapons of mass destruction. Risk of EMP, space. These are all explaining to you what it was through the operations that they were going to run against you as they completely obliterate what's left of America during Hillary Clinton's administration starting in 2016. World War III, death and weapons, real war, fake and controlled, population growth, control, pocket billions, eliminate the final rogue ops within the government and military, kill the economy, starve, need, enslave, open borders, revise the Constitution, ban the sale of firearms, install on-team Supreme Court justices, legal wins across spectrum of the challenges, AS 187, removal of electoral college, popular vote, easier manipulated, illegal votes, Soros machines, remove funding for the military, closure of U.S. military installations worldwide, Germany first, destruction of opposing mainstream media and other news outlets, censoring class 1 through 59, pure evil, narrative intercept, 4 a.m., Sessions, Nunes, Russian ops, Republican distortions of facts to remove Mueller, POTUS free pass, shut down primary reasons, distract, weaken military assets, include illegal votes. See this? Black votes abandoning, keep them starved, keep them blind, keep them stupid. HRC, March 13, 2013, intercept, Great Awakening, fight, fight, fight. There's no the post number 780. There's no allegation in the indictment that any American was a knowing participant in the illegal activity, Rosenstein said. There's no allegation in the indictment that the charged conduct altered the outcome of the 2016 election. In an effort, future proofs past. In an effort to preserve the integrity of all U.S. elections as ordered by the President of the United States, after an extensive investigation into select counties, the DHS has concluded that while Russian entities, as outlined within Special Counsel Mueller's investigations, were complicit in attempting to undermine the presidential election of 2016, they had no direct impact or bearing on the outcome of the presidential election, nor were any U.S. persons knowingly part of such an attempt to sabotage as it relates to the Russian investigation. That was explaining to you that the Russian hoax was fake. Jeff read this one to you earlier. I'm going to skip this one because we've already read this one today too, so we can get to some of these other ones. I think you read. Yeah, Watergate times 1,000. Yeah. GDP estimates of trillions of dollars. Canada, France, Germany, Italy, United Kingdom, Japan, 19.2 billion, US 20.4. Trillions of US dollars. Ask yourself if the U.S. GDP is greater than the total of all others combined in the G7, which allows us to negotiate from a position of strength, why would the previous presidents knowingly, unequally distribute Americans' wealth away by making unbalanced trade deals? Do you want me to read that again? Are you getting this drop that told us Q people, crazy Q-tards, what the hell was going to happen in the future on 8/6/2018 in this particular drop? It literally explains to you right there the con. This is the con that the Federal Reserve is running on you. This is the reason that I know you don't say shit. No, this is the reason for the Federal Reserve, so that they can bury you. And if you don't look at the way that these deals were negotiated and think that you are being screwed 6 ways to Sunday, you're not, you got another thing coming. Why was America's wealth being distributed worldwide? All of this USAID, all of this stuff, we just keep shoveling it out. Elon found computers that just magically printed money whenever you submitted a bill. It didn't care where it went. All you needed to know was that this computer would pay you if you submitted a bill. And anybody around the world could submit a bill and it would pay you out. It makes me think that a huge portion of what they are considering as our national debt isn't even real, because it wasn't actually authorized tax spending that generated that part of the debt. Why was the American taxpayer essentially subsidizing the rest of the world? The American taxpayer has no equal anywhere in the world. Access to the American consumer or the U.S. market is essential for every major country in the world. What does Trump say over and over again? We have the biggest market. We have the most wanted market. We have the most coveted market. Everybody wants to do business with us. Everybody wants to do business with America. Is that what that sentence says right there? Access to the American consumer or the U.S. market is essential for. Have you ever heard a mainstream media person say that? Have you ever heard a mainstream media person say that, oh, anybody, NPR, anywhere, that access to the American consumer in the U.S. market is essential for every major country in the world? No, because they're all investing in China. The reason all these people like Health Ranger and these numbnuts that you're seeing out there that have a lot of money and no sense are online having no sense is because they have huge investments in China, because they pretend like they really support America, but in all reality, they are heavily invested in the Chinese future, which is failing right now. And they're watching their investment literally shrink day by day. All caps, America was systematically being weakened. Our military was systematically being weakened. America is back to leading. America first. This is what happens when POTUS has no strings attached. This post means right now, guys. That the whole post is right now. I don't care what date's on it. You either got brains to see that this post is right now or you don't. Q Post 2036, does this mean more fires? Paul and Nancy of the Charitable Foundation. This one was talking about the California fires and why would California elected officials knowingly collapse the budget, which they are doing. And a lot of that, by the way, is coming out now, too, about the whole thing with these fires that the Q's talking about here, not the fires that just happened in the Palisades and recently last year. These fires are being referenced from when Q was posting. They were happening in real time. I'm out here in Oregon. These crazy people were setting fires everywhere. Like, we even got them, a couple of the Q posts here where we caught them out here in the woods with their fire cans, and although they're little projectiles trying to start more fires, and they're doing it again this year out here on the West Coast. Big Pharma donates to how much to California and New York elected officials. Obviously, know a decent amount about the Big Pharma. They're here talking about a little bit more about the budget or the fires. Your vote counts. I explained some of this different stuff here. Just going through and like I said earlier, whenever I was talking about Bill Cooper and the way that Bill Cooper would give out information, it's not for me to sit here and say, oh, it's this tiny little line right here that you've got to focus on that actually means something. No. Different people are going to get different things out of different stuff that you read. Everybody is different. The idea that we're different is what does make us strong, but they twist that around and try to make it seem like you've got to fit a cookie cutter mold no matter what. The truth was not revealed yet. FISA didn't have much impact, to be honest, or there's still something missing to it which reveals the whole truth. Now, this was Q responding to that post. That post, for people that don't understand the way this is organized, whenever you see a post like this that has the anonymous outline in the top, this would be a post that would be like, Q quoting a Twitter post on the board. So Q took this post from the board and is quoting it and responding to this post that is on the board with FISA equals the start. FISA equals immediate confirmation of illegal acts regarding the signers of FISA. FISA equals immediate confirmation start of Hussein spy campaign to rig an election was based on false info. And remember, they kept renewing the FISA after Donald Trump was elected. It didn't just happen before November. It continued. It's one thing to play this game of we're going to get you while you're running, but to play the game of we're going to get you after you've already won and everybody acknowledges that you've won. This is the reason that these people aren't going to make it. FISA implicates that Hillary Rodham Clinton and the D Party as feeders of false information with the intent of securing the mainstream media plus blast the insurance, being the dossier. FISA implicates senior members of the UK, MI5, MI6, SIS, U.S. Intel, White House, Five Eye, Republican Party, Congress, and the Senate of known corruption in an effort to retain power and rig the election, plus safeguard the events by political kill or act while in power, given the mainstream media fake push Russia war. Russia. I thought it was supposed to be war, but interesting. NAR. FISA equals ties mainstream media heads, TV behind the core to the D Party, other foreign heads of state on the co-op strategy. FISA brings down the House. What does that mean? FISA brings down the House means that they illegally got a secret court warrant on the duly elected president. Freedom of Information Act does not include FISA. Declassed by POTUS, I hate the way this expands like that. Declassed by POTUS, key parts that factually demonstrate the dirty fake dossier was used as primary source to secure highest levels of intel spying on primary Republican opponent, plus post-election, after the election, post-election. Like I said, this is not, what you're seeing here is not Nostradamus. What you're seeing here is people that understand what's really happening, but nobody's paying attention, so they need to publish it so it can be understood that it was known before, so that the people in the future that try to say that this didn't happen, we can say, well, it did, because we said it here also. Intel assets for the domestic spying of the President of the United States, for the office of the Presidency of the United States of America, logical thinking, public awareness, FISA spying, foundation built, Huber, no spelling errors intended, mobile, unknown if above. And there was one with the war. It should have been war, not NAR. And then movie one, Showtime, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama. Oh, I'm not going to get it, but it's going back and forth between the House and the presidency over and over again. Who instructed the DOJ to release the select text messages? When did Rod Rosenstein learn of his involvement? And N.O. Why am I not getting N.O.? Nellie Orr. Oh, fine, got it. Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, Bruce Orr, Nellie Orr. Got it. Ha, ha, ha. Bruce Orr, Nellie Orr, not Barack Obama. Barack Obama's Hussein. Straighten this out. Bruce Orr to Chuck Schumer. Bruce Orr to Nellie Orr to Chuck Schumer to Nellie Orr to Bruce Orr. Back and forth. Da-da-da. Sorry. When did RR learn of involvement with Bruce Orr and Nellie Orr? What happens if Rod Rosenstein knew prior to the signing of the CP FISA? What did Rod Rosenstein, under congressional testimony, refused? Why? Refused to answer the question regarding reading of the FISA prior to its execution. Who signed page 380? Who signed 389? Who signed 390? Who signed 391? And who signed 392? Who is one of four of the firewalls? Who signed? Firewalls? Who signed? Firewalls? FISA 20, the trilogy. Movie 1, full, the start. Plot. How the intelligence apparatus, State Department, and the Department of Justice of the United States, in joint effort with our ex-primary foreign allies plus other covert assets as directed by Hussein, White House, in coordination with Hillary Rodham Clinton, colluded and conspired to rig the presidential election of 2016 in an effort to install HRC, to frame POTUS, projection, and create an emergency contingency regarding the installation and safeguards of firewalls to prevent exposure or continuation of presidency should counter fail, to ensure operators, actors, agents of power, past and present, remain in control and use sources, covert assets of the fake news media to carry out frame barrage of strategic, coordinated, guided attacks designed to divide, cover, shelter, justify, impeachment, removal, in effort to regain control and prevent public awareness of illegal, criminal, treasonous acts. Movies 1 through 3, full list in this post, explains to you. Coming soon to a theater near you. Movie 2, movie 3 to be announced. Enjoy the show. Knowingly, page 389, here's the answers. Andrew McCabe, Rod Rosenstein, Dana Bonte, James Comey, Sally Yates, knowingly used false intelligence, ? Did they knowingly use false intelligence? Did they? What's your intuition? You know, do we need to go talk about Epstein some more, or do we need to talk about the fake intelligence that the Obama administration created out of thin air? Remember what Tulsi said. She didn't say that they said if the Russians, they said how. How did they? They changed it. Instead, they skipped over if they actually did and started pretending that they did. They changed it from if to how. Knowingly used false intelligence. Think HRC paid for the fake dossier in the bulk. Think that Steele, BO, Post, FBI firing, intel collection, Bruce Orr. So they're saying here that Bruce Orr had a hand in helping Hillary make the Steele dossier to begin with, in my opinion, is what this is saying. And Nellie Orr, probably. Think DOJ and FBI classified leaks to the fake news in greater than the insert into the FISA app in an effort to provide new sources. Think presidential daily brief placement by Brennan to authenticate source as credible. Guys, is that what Tulsi Gabbard just said to you? Yes or no? 47 in the chat. Is that what Tulsi Gabbard revealed to you, that the news media and Joe Scarborough can't get their goofy minds around? Why can't they get their goofy minds around this cold, hard fact? Is it intentional that they're ignoring this? Yes. Is it intentional that all these digital numbnuts out there are ignoring all this so they can scream Epstein and Israel at you ad nauseum? Yes. To distract from this. Why? Because they're part of it, dude. That's why. Because they're part of this right here. They're part of what it says right here, whatever it says. Counter failed to ensnare operators, frame guided attacks, covert media operatives. Covert media operatives. That doesn't mean the Democrats, guys. The Democrats aren't covert media operatives. People on our side are covert media operatives. Trump's exposed them all. Getting close to the end. I'm going to read this one right here, and then we're going to get out of here. Declassifiza will initiate the resignation, the recusal, and or removal of Rod Rosenstein. Declassifiza will initiate the awareness that all signers will be currently under investigation. Declassifiza will factually demonstrate without argument that the U.S. government under Hussein knowingly presented false evidence to the Fisk court in an effort to obtain legal U.S. intelligence umbrella surveillance of POTUS, IDEN target, for the sole purpose of influencing the 2016 election of the presidency, not Russia, but Hussein and HRC. Projection, plus safeguard against possible loss of power in their firewalls and use of the back channel surveillance spy insertion body 1 and 2 and 5 by UK and Australia 5I. Primary activated under Director Brennan, Director Clapper with the Presidential Daily Brief regular updates plus live streaming White House Hussein non-Oval Office Situation Room coordination. FISA full brings down the House, the White House. What else do you need to know? What else do you need to know? You've been sitting here. You've been watching it for 7 years. You've been watching it for 8 years. You've watched all these people do everything they can to distract you. All the people that were here with us claiming that they were part of Q, that we were colleagues with, associates with, are gone. They don't talk about this. None of them, maybe, correct me, come over to Twitter, correct me if I'm wrong. Who out there on X in the media that used to be considered, quote unquote, a Q person is currently talking about the posts in Q that say knowingly and connecting people back to understand that what we're seeing right now is real. You see, instead, what they're doing is they're out there acting like it isn't real. The people like Ivan Raikkonen and all of their digital soldiers are busy as beavers trying to scream and yell at you that nothing is ever going to happen. They are serving you a nice, full, healthy serving of cynicism. Now, if you are the type of person that is attracted to cynicism and you love some cynicism, well, by goodness, you can keep your cynicism. Have it. Nothing's going to happen. We're all going to die. Do you ever remember Saturday Night Live? It was called Debbie Downer. She wasn't Debbie Downer because she was right. She was Debbie Downer because she had fake outrage. Get a handle on your fake outrage. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn it, I've got fake outrage. I got to get rid of it. I need to take my fake outrage and I need to put it over here where the real outrage needs to be. And then I need to get loud. And then once I get loud, I get confident. And then the next thing you know, you might be running for office one day and out there on a stage of your own, proclaiming to the people why it is that you are the best person to represent them. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here on Wednesday in this little hour segment. Thank you for the prayers for Jeff's mom. I'm telling you, it's amazing what is happening with her. I wish I could go into detail to describe the miracles that are happening. I personally believe that the miracles that are happening in my life and in his life are because of you, because you guys have been praying for us for so long, and God bless each and every one of you who do that. I see your prayers, and they are so cherished. It's a very humbling experience to sit in this chair and to have people that I do not know or that I have not met. I know I've met a lot of you. I love each and every one of you. that pray for me. It's a very humbling thing to have happen. It's real. What we're talking about is real. They can gaslight us all they want. They can call you a Q-tard all you want. Your best path forward is to own it and to mock them for their relentless stupidity. God bless you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. Back here at 12 noon Eastern Time.
Attention all you rule breakers, you misfits and troublemakers, all you free spirits and pioneers, all you visionaries and nonconformists. Everything the establishment has told you is wrong with you is actually what's right with you. You see things others don't. You are hardwired to change the world. Unlike 9 out of 10 people, your mind is irrepressible, and this threatens authority. You were born to be a revolutionary. You can't stand rules because in your heart you know there's a better way. You have strengths dangerous to the establishment, and it wants them eliminated. So your whole life you've been told your strengths were weaknesses. Now I'm telling you otherwise. Your impulsivity is a gift. Impulses are your key to the miraculous. Your distractibility is an artifact of your inspired creativity. Your mood swings reflect the natural pulse of life. They give you unstoppable energy when you're high, and deep soulful insight when you're low. Been diagnosed with a disorder? That's society's latest way to deny its own illness by pointing the finger at you. Your addictive personality is just a symptom of your vast, underused capacity for heroic creative expression and spiritual connection. Your utter lack of repression, your wide-eyed idealism, your unmitigated open mind. Didn't anyone ever tell you? These are the traits shared by the greatest pioneers and visionaries, innovators, revolutionaries, procrastinators, and drama queens, activists on the social scene, space cadets, and mavericks, philosophers, and derelicts, business suits, flying fighter jets, football stars and sex addicts, celebrities with ADD, alcoholics who seek novelty, first responders, prophets and saints, mystics, and change agents. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all affected by the way. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all attracted to the flame. You know in your heart there's a natural order, something more sovereign than any man-made rules or laws could ever express. And this natural order is called the way. The way is the eternal substrate of the cosmos. It guides the very current of time and space. The way is known by some as the will of God, divine providence, the Holy Spirit, the implicate order, the Tao, reverse entropy, light force. But for now, we'll simply call it the way. The way is reflected in you as the source of your inspiration, the source of your passions, your wisdom, your enthusiasm, your intuition, your spiritual fire, love. The way takes the chaos out of the universe and breathes life into it, giving it divine order. The way, when expressed by the mind, is genius. When perceived through the eyes, is beauty. When felt through the senses, is grace. When allowed into the heart, is love. Most people cannot sense the way directly, but then there are the wayseers, the keepers of the flame. Wayseers have an unexplainable knack for just knowing the way. They sense it in their very being. They can't tell you why or how they arrived at the right answer. They just know it in their core. They can't show their work, so don't ask. Their minds simply resonate with the way. When the way is present, so are they. others are blind to it, and society begs you to ignore it, the way stirs you inside. Neurological repression blocks most people's awareness of the way. Censoring all thoughts and impulses from the unconscious is their prefrontal cortex, the Gestapo of the brain. Nothing which violates its socialized programming even gets through. But your mind is different. Your mind has been cracked wide open to the way by some miraculous genetic trait, some psychotropic chemical, or maybe even by the will of your own soul. Your brain's reward pathways have been hijacked. Dopamine employed to overthrow the fascist dictatorship of your prefrontal cortex. Now your brain is free of repression. Your mind free of censorship. Your awareness exposed to the turbulent seas of the unconscious. Through this open doorway, divine light shines into your consciousness, showing you the way. This is what makes you a wayseer. 90% of human civilization is populated with those whose brains are blocked to the way. Their brains are hardwired to enforce the social programming indoctrinated since birth. Unlike you, they cannot break out of this programming because they have not yet experienced the necessary revolution of mind. These programmed people take social institutions and rules very seriously. Society is full of games programmed to keep people's minds occupied so they will not revolt. These games often cause sick fixations on peculiar protocols, power structures, taboos, and domination, all subtle forms of human bondage. This distinct form of madness is not only tolerated by the masses, but insisted upon. The programmed ones believe in rules so forcefully, they become willing to destroy anyone who violates them. Wayseers are the ones who call their bluff. Since wayseer minds are free to reject social programming, wayseers readily see these social institutions for what they are, imaginary games. Wayseers comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Helping those who are lost in these games and refuse to help themselves is the calling of many wayseers. Since wayseers are the ones who keep contact with the original source of reality, they are able to disrupt societal conventions and even governments to realign humanity with the way. The wayseers are an ancient lineage, a kind of priesthood, carriers of the flame, ones in the know. There must always be wayseers to reform the dizzying, psychotic, spinning wheels of society. Giant, mindless hamster wheels obscuring the pure blue sky, keeping humanity shackled in a darkened cage. So wayseers are called to shed light on the madness of society, to continually resurrect the timeless, transcendent spirit of truth. Wayseers reveal this divine truth by devoting themselves to the birth of some creative or disruptive act, expressed through art or philosophy. Innovations to shake up industry, revolutions for democracy, coups that topple hypocrisy, movements of solidarity, changes that leave a legacy, rebellions against policy, spirit-infused technology, moments of clarity, things that challenge barbarity, watersheds of sincerity, momentous drives for charity. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all affected by the way. We are all the same, you know, 'cause we're all attracted to the flame. This is your calling, wayseer. You found your tribe. Welcome home.
www.mg.show. Boom.